Hello, so today we're going to look at the carburetor. It's not all the carburetor. The carburetors are inside of this thing. There's actually a water manifold on the top and then there's an intake. This whole hose right there is actually the outlet, and then there's the thermostat right there. It's huge, it's humongous. And then it looks like Loch Ness. So that's a carburetor, that's a carburetor. Then there's the intake, goes with the and then there's this, which is, you can see where it goes to the cylinders up here, but then above that is the water jacket, like I said. In fact, you can actually see if you look really closely, that is the choke flaps, those massive things in there. But there's one, I wasn't intended on fully dismantling it, but it's looking like I'm going to have to anyway. If you look closely right here, if you look on this side, there's a water hose right there. On this side, that water hose has been removed for whatever reason. I don't know how they've removed it, unless they cut it off with a knife maybe. But to put that back on, I'm gonna have to take the top manifold thingamajiggies off the carburetors anyway, because there's no way I'm getting that hose on. So it needs to come to pieces anyway. I was going to try and save gaskets and stuff, but we're at risk of that not happening. I mean, for instance, I've taken the tops of it off and these look a bit sketchy, these gaskets. These gaskets aren't as important because this is just like a elbow for the intake. But the rest of it's sort of important, but hopefully we can smudge it with some high lamar and maybe track down a few of them, see if anybody's got them. So the first thing we need to do is I'm removing these bolts. There's some bolts right here that are basically holding the top of the Zenith carburetors onto this big chunky monkey. These two separate things that are water on the top and air fuel mixture on the bottom. Now, I've been putting up videos on this, of course, as time's been going on and people have been saying, oh, shove a different carburetor, shove this. I want to use this carburetor. I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm very much like that with all things I do. The second I get too many input from other people on what I should be doing, I completely lose interest, basically. It's just the way my mind works. It's a bit annoying. Well, it's not annoying. So I've got a plan and I'm going to be sticking to it ruthlessly because that's just the way it goes. That's how I function. So I'm going to be dealing with it one bit at a time. I think that's the most realistic way of getting any job done. Treating it like a big pile of plates whilst you're washing dishes. And today is the carburetor. Not even thinking about the future, not thinking about what car it's going in, not thinking about later carburetors that might go on it. Just getting it one job at a time. And right now it's the blooming bolts. Oh my gosh. Every single bolt on here is in a really awkward spot. Anyway, I'm going to get these bolts off and I'll see you on the other side. Oh, yeah, here we go. So those gaskets, probably don't want to be breathing in near them because they do look a bit sketchy, but this is the carburetor. Well, it's not the carburetor, it's two carburetors and an intake. I don't want to take the carburetors off because the gasket between the carburetor and this intake does look pretty technical and that would suck if I broke it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and... So here's the throttle. Look at that. That's cool, isn't it? So there's the throttle. The choke is there. Choke and throttle. Yeah, very cool. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a cleaning, but I'm also going to take the float tops off and clean in there as well. Ah, interesting. So that just pops off. Okay. So the throttle not only opens up the flaps, it pushes down on this, which pushes down on a sort of like an SU carb, and then the fuel goes in hither, and then there's a sort of, okay, this is very interesting looking. Wow. What a crazy what a crazy thing. I'm gonna go and have a look at the manual because I've got to make heads and tails of this. So having a look at the images in the manual, we can see that this is the accelerator pump. So that kind of pumps in some fuel if you're pushing on the accelerator hard. That kind of fires a jet of fuel in there to kind of temporarily kind of richen it to get that revs up quicker. And then we've got the float here, and that float is pushing on a needle that is underneath here. In fact, I reckon if we remove this, didn't want to damage the top of the nut, but that was pretty tight. Right, so underneath here should be the float needle. Yes, okay, so here's the float needle. I'm really tempted to not remove it because I'm opening a can of worms if I don't need to remove it. So unbolting this will take the float out. That'll mean we'll be able to take the needle out, but in the image, you can see that this float needle acts very much the same as all the other Zenith carburetors that you've seen on the Austins and things like that. When the float lifts up, it pushes the needle down, and that causes the needle to push into the hole where the fuel will be coming in, stopping the fuel coming in. I don't want to have to dismantle it because if I do, then I'm just going to make more problems for myself if it is functioning. So I'm just going to put this back. The height of the needle and the float is likely set to originally what it was supposed to be. So if I fiddle with it, then I'm going to have to set it again myself, and it might never be as good as it's supposed to be. So I'm going to not mess with that unless I absolutely have to, which I don't think I do. But what we do have to do is turn it around and have a look at these. So these have still got the wires in them. We're just going to take this off, screw it. So this in here is the carburetor jets. Off the top of my head, not looking at the image, I think it says. So we've got the main jet here, we've got the kind of like idle jet over here. So there's one jet either side. So this is just the stopper at the bottom. This won't be the jet, it will just be a plug. Yes. Ironically, they're the same size as the Austin jets, it looks to be. So this is the main jet, and that is the idle jet, and it actually has M and C for my mind. It's evaded my mind right this second. And fire some air through it to try and clean them. It's going to go from the float into the jets, and then the jets go down through these bad boys. They go down from the jets, which go up and then travel down into the main passages, the main ventricles. If you see on the side of the casting, there's these lines down. Basically, these screws are the main passageways. Oh, yeah. This is the plunger for the accelerator pump that's down there. So when you're pushing, it opens the flaps, but it also pushes down on the pump via this. So you could go, whoa, and pump a load of fuel in there. Plop it all back together, and same on the other side. Clear out all the holes, give it a good old sprucing, and hopefully everything is accounted for and the carburetors should do some working. Right, after a bit of work, it is quite a bit cleaner now. I've blown air through everything. I don't see much point right now dismantling it anymore, because I think dismantling it more will just, well, make it worse. I think, because it risks damaging gaskets that I don't have spares of, and I think honestly it'll just be a lot easier if I just left it alone. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and clear the top manifold and pop it back together. Something like that anyway. Something like that anyway. I did mention it earlier, but also I'm going to mention it again, is I'm pretty damn sure these gaskets are pretty definitely asbestos. What I did when I was cleaning up and sorting this out, I was making sure they were wet because I want to maintain them, because I haven't actually got replacements of these. Jamie kindly sent new old stock ones of these, so they're right here. In order to remove those, I wore a mask and a bunch of WD-40. I got them as wet as I could and then just popped them in a bin bag and got them well away. But yeah, after fiddling with it all, I popped a bunch of Hylamar Blue all over them to kind of seal in the freshness. And that brings us to now where we can put it all back together. The hose that was missing, one of the main reasons we actually completely pulled it to pieces, well, I've got a replacement here, 40 centimeters, which is 1 5/8. So I want to say, no, 1 9/16. I think it's 1 9/16. I think it's 1 5/8. I can't remember. Anyway, now we've tested the floats, made sure they're free, and also the needle valves to stop too much fuel just falling into the carburetors and flooding the whole situation. I've confirmed they work with the brake cleaner. I've made sure all of the passages are nice and clean. I don't see much more point digging in deeper than that because it all seems to be all right. I'm going to prop it back together and hopefully that's us all right for the carburetors. I know there's some people been like, oh no, put EFI on it, put blah blah. Like, these things are awesome. Look at them. They're just massive chunks of bronze or brass, whatever it is. I absolutely love them. I don't care. I'm keeping them like this. They're blooming awesome. Hoses on first, and then on here. Grease, and see if we can get this one in. Come on. Hey. Before I put the carburetor back on, I want to have a look in the holes and see what the pistons look like. This is the rubbishest little ball camera, but I should be able to do a job. It's served me its purpose in the past, so let's have a peek. Can't see anything. Oh, the light's not on. So I don't know how much you're going to be able to see. Let's see if we can see it. So there's a valve. You can see a valve, and then go down, down, down. Here we go. Here we go. We're going down. Oh, there's a bit of gunk. Hopefully that's just sticky gunk. But there's the top of the piston. There's some gunk that's fallen off, but it looks like it's just kind of like soot and stuff. But we got a piston in there. I mean, as far as I can tell, because I don't want to have to take the head off because God knows about head gaskets and things like that. I don't know if you can see it, but there's definitely a piston there. It's a nice and shiny piston top. It looks pretty good. Look at that. It looks like it might even be flat top. I mean, I don't know how domed they are, but they're supposed to be domed. I don't know if you could see that, but that's the piston. Oh yeah, it is domed. This is domed. It's domed. And in fact, if you actually, ooh, yeah, look, if you could look carefully, you can see I'm wiggling. You can see the two valves are open. You can sort of see inside the actual pistons. That's amazing. Whether all the valves are nice and happy is anybody's guess, but I want to get it all set up so we can try and run it and see if there's any problems before we go diving into the heads. If we have to take the heads off and stuff, that's a problem later down the line. There's also this funky hose that actually connects to the intake and then connects to the top of the floats. So the air is shared to them, so there isn't a vacuum. When the fuel is going down, it's actually getting filtered air going into the top of the carburetors to be able to breathe. Kind of a funky thing. Maybe it's waterproofing, I don't know, but we'll pop it in. Crush washers either side. Let it swing. It's not super heavy, but it's just blooming awkward. And in order to be able to make it sit properly on the engine, I think it's best to kind of prop it up with these things. Oh yeah, lovely, look at that. Look, messy. Yeah. Oh, forgot about the fuel. Here we go. We've got to pop this on. Oh, wherever it goes. Which side does it go? Ah, it's this side. I have got clamps coming, but they're coming later, so I'm just going to put the hoses on for now. And we'll pop the clamps around it. Oh no, how do I turn it off? Whee! There we go, the carb is back on. That was pretty simple. In fact, that was simpler than I thought. And I've likely forgotten something, so it's probably coming off tomorrow. But that's enough for tonight. I'll be back on it when I see you next. I'll see you when I see you.